Wisp Sports Radio, the voice of women in sport.
Hello, you're listening to The Horse Show here on Wisp Sports. This is Season 4, Episode 23, and I'm Chris Stafford. If you're into horse sports as much as we are and would like to be a part of the conversation, you can do so by following us on social media at Wisp Sports or dropping us a line to info@wispsports.com. My guest this week is American show jumper Adrienne Sternlicht, who has hit tremendous form as the season comes to an end. She won back-to-back World Cup qualifiers, first in thermal with Benny's Legacy, and then a week later she went on to Las Vegas to take him indoors for the first time, where he won again. This is a new partnership for Adrienne, who was on the WEG team last year, you may recall, with the mare Crystalline. And while the mare has been resting following injury, Adrienne has certainly been busy. And following those back-to-back wins, she jumped on the mare Just a Gamble a few days later to win the $209,000 Holiday and Horses Grand Prix at the CSI 4-Star, presented by Palm Beach County Sports Commission. And that's where I caught up with Adrienne to hear the story behind these recent wins and what her plans are for the upcoming season. Hi, Adrienne. Well, congratulations. 3 wins in a row. Has it sunk in yet?
I think it kind of hasn't sunk in. My manager and I were joking that we never really have taken the time to celebrate. And I think that's just kind of my nature, to just keep moving forward towards the next goal. But I certainly am aware that it's very rare that a rider has 3 shows that go as well in a row as these shows have gone for me. And I think that's testament to the depth of my group of horses. And yeah, so I'm very lucky at the moment. I have a very strong group of horses, and so it's given me a lot of confidence.
Well, it must have. So big congratulations there, because that's a super result to have. Not just one World Cup qualifier, but then another a week later. And then you win in Palm Beach at the CSI 4-Star, again with Just a Gamble. And I think what's notable really is with Benny's Legacy, you had not been out in the showing for very long. Well, this is a new ride for you. Did you pick him up in the summer? Or was it late summer you got the ride on him?
He came to my stable about mid-September. So I showed him at the Gold Cup just in some national classes, and then my second show with him was FEI. So I think that I would say that Thermal, the show in California, that World Cup qualifier, was my 3rd FEI show with him.
So what was it about the ride then? You know, when you find a new horse, Adrienne, is there something, isn't there, when you first, get to ride them, there's something about that feel that you get, the rideability, and the potential, obviously, at his age. What was it for you?
Yeah. I actually didn't try him, which is very rare. He's the only horse in my string that I purchased without trying. McLean had sat on him a few months prior, and he thought it would be a really good fit for me, but I wasn't looking for anything at the time. So I was a bit apprehensive when we first got him. I didn't know how things would go. But McLean knows my riding style so well, and he always liked the horse, and thought that we would be a good match. And actually, probably of any of my horses that I have, he goes the way I like to ride most, which is, he definitely has a little bit of blood, but he lets you help and support. And I like to ride. I'm kind of an active rider. I like to be able to help and feel like I can do something on course. And so, yeah, it's ended up being a very good match.
Now, what about his temperament then? What kind of a partner is he in the barn?
He is incredibly sweet, but he's very, very alert, both to handle on the ground and to ride. You always have to have your wits about you. He's not ever really trying to be bad, but he was gelded quite late, so he does act a little bit stallionish, I would say, on the ground. And to ride too, he notices everything. He acts like a 4-year-old a little bit. He was just on a little vacation, and I rode him yesterday for the first time, and I felt like my groom was like a hot walker, helping me get to the ring because he was such a spaz. So, yeah, anyways, but I think because of how, incredible and how much quality the horse has, you find it's so interesting. I find that quality of his endearing rather than, annoying or a nuisance. You just kind of handle it, and I try to get him to settle by me settling. So he really is responsive to his rider in that capacity.
Well, you mentioned there, his rideability, and you seem to like mares or geldings. Either go well for you, clearly.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
what was it about when you say his way of going? You like a horse that's going forwards, obviously, staying in front of your leg and a little bit more aggressive. Talk a little bit more about that style, which clearly now in your experience, a horse that works for you.
Yeah. He's like a rubber ball to ride. He is incredibly agile and nimble in his body. He lets you hold the mouth a bit. He can add, he can leave out. The ride, I think he's probably more rideable than any other horse I have, including Crystalline. He kind of looks to his rider on course for support. He's not a horse that would take well to, I think, an American girl who doesn't like to use a lot of the leg, or I don't even mean an American girl. Sorry, I probably shouldn't say that. He doesn't really take well to a ride with little leg. He wants to know that you're there and you're confident as a rider. And so I think in that way he forces you to be, very disciplined and direct in your commands, riding a horse like that. And I think that helps me when I feel like I'm controlling the pace a bit, not, letting the horse dictate the pace.
So getting the ride, obviously, without having ridden him before, you put a lot of trust in obviously McLean's judgment. Knew what type of horse that you like. So where would you put this horse now already, having done these few shows with him? Would you rate him in your barn, or is that too much to ask at this point?
Yeah, I've jumped on my first second FEI show with him. I jumped the 5-star Grand Prix, and I had the last 2 jumps down. I would say the second to last was a rider error, and then he got a bit sharp after that. Given the confidence I've had with him in our last 2 shows, I would say he's either my second or third horse, definitely behind Crystalline. But I think, slotting Tulago will definitely jump some easier classes now that he's getting a bit older. But he's very reliable. So I would almost comfortably say that he's my number 2 horse to Crystalline.
Number 2, gosh, that's way up there already. So he's earned.
Yeah.
I'd say he's pretty much earned that with those results so far.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll be back with more from Adrian right after this.
Hi, I'm Nikki Daly. I'm an international field hockey player for Ireland, and I'm also a motorsport engineer. I'm a proud WISP ambassador because I am very passionate about women in sport, particularly in hockey and motorsport. I think WISP Sports is a fantastic platform. It promotes all women in sport from any level, right the way down through to grassroots level. And I think it's really important for young girls to be able to see their role models, to see that people are out there achieving great things at different levels in sport, and it gives them something to look up to and try to achieve themselves. If you would like to follow me, you can follow me on Facebook, Nikki Daly, Instagram, Twitter, and under my Formula Female Instagram and Facebook as well for the motorsport side of what I do. Thanks for listening and helping WISP Sports turn up the volume on women in sport.
And you can find out more about our athlete ambassadors on our website at wispsports.com. Just look for ambassadors in the drop-down menu. And we're back now with my guest this week, Adrian Sternlicht. Well, let's talk about the mare, Just a Gamble, because she's obviously on fire right now. Or I should say you're on fire. I mean, if really what I should be starting this show with, was it Alicia Keys' This Girl's on Fire to introduce you, because you really are.
Oh, thank you. I've been saying that I'm very happy that I'm done showing for the year, because this way I can't screw up a great end to 2019. She, Just a Gamble, has been the greatest teacher that I've had, probably as a horse. I purchased her a year ago, and right off the bat of our first show, we won the National Grand Prix. Our first FEI show, we were clear rounds in the Grand Prix and the Grand Prix qualifier. And then it sort of took a turn for the worse. She actually picked up on me in the schooling area, and I tore a muscle in my shoulder last winter. She's a very, very hot horse. She requires you to be ultra calm, ultra still, ultra present, and she's very sensitive. And so I think the combination of those factors is, yeah, she's been my greatest teacher, and I'm so grateful that I have her in my life, seriously, because she's taught me so much. So it's really been like a labor of love with her. Funny enough, we have the same birthday, which I can't help think means something. Yeah, she's a really, really special mare, and she has all the quality in the world, all the jump in the world. So it's been a real lesson for me in patience, and learning to go, to be calm and take my time with a horse, especially my frustrations and, my desire to will something really won't get me anywhere with her. In the Grand Prix in a row this fall. And so this win was especially meaningful to me, because, like I said, myself and my staff, we've put in, a ton of mental, emotional, physical energy into her. And I feel like she gave us so much. So, yeah, it was really special for me.
And I read somewhere that she's very fast. So this is a speed horse for you?
No, she is not a speed horse. I think she would like to be. She looks like a racehorse, and she's a bottomless pit of energy, but she can jump a house. So I think she's naturally very quick, just in the way that she covers the ground. And so when I can get into jump-offs with her, I know I have somewhat of a competitive advantage, because without even thinking about being fast, I know I'm fast, so.
You can rely on her. Now, is she one that you sat on before you bought her?
Yeah, I tried her before I bought her. I tried her in the fall of 2018, and then started with her at the beginning of January of this year.
All right, so what next for her then?
So my plan for the winter is she and Benny's Legacy will be my two top Grand Prix horses, and Tulago owes me nothing, so he'll fill in and get to jump some of those smaller Grand Prix, and some of the Grand Prix qualifiers at the 4 and 5 star level, most likely. And so, yeah, my plan is to just keep aiming her for, those big Grand Prix. She's not a horse who can be set up, I think, for every class the way we set her up for the Grand Prix. So in that capacity, my focus again with her will just be, really preparing her each week, making sure she's paired with the right horse, as a second horse to her, so that I give her the best opportunity to shine that week.
Well, you'd already got your eyes focused on returning to Vegas, haven't you, for the World Cup final in April? Plans already made for that, and obviously what you will do with Benny's Legacy leading up to that?
Yeah, that is definitely my plan. Benny's Legacy will, right now everything is tentative, but my plan would be most likely to use him at least for one of the legs. at World Cup finals. So I've never jumped him under the lights, so he'll start the 2-star week, jump under the lights here, and then sort of go from there. I'm hoping to get on some U.S. teams with him. So that's a goal of mine with him for the winter, would be to make my team debut with him, as well as just a gamble. Yeah, we're very fortunate that Benny helped set me up to be in a very comfortable position for World Cup points. So I think I am safely qualified now, and so I can kind of use the winter and use the shows to kind of set up the horses accordingly.
Yeah, well, he's proved that he doesn't mind jumping indoors. He obviously likes Vegas.
Yeah, he was amazing.
Good start with him. Now, you mentioned the Mare Crystalline. Of course, it's over a year, isn't it now? It's so time flies since the World Equestrian Games. Just tell us where you are with the mare now and what her plans are. She's amazing. She's in great form right now. I'm going to take my time building her back slowly with the plan of jumping her at World Cup finals. She'll jump some small classes all winter. You probably won't see her in the limelight much until World Cup, we hope. So that's sort of my plan. She's, the most amazing horse I've ever been around, and easily the most important thing, or most important part of my life. So I just do whatever I can to best serve her, and I've really taken my time bringing her back, because she is that important and that special, and she really has nothing to prove. So with the goal being the Olympics for her, we didn't want to, start her back too quickly, or, plan on jumping her too much this winter, because we hope that she will have a lot of big jumping to do after World Cup finals. Well, yeah, she's still young, isn't she? What, 11? 10, 11? Is she 11?
Yeah, she's 11. She's 11.
Just explain to everybody, Adrian, why she had the layoff.
She was injured at World Cup final, at the World Equestrian Games. So she hasn't competed since then.
Right. So bringing her back slowly, and the big goal for her, as you said, is Tokyo 2020. How many horses will you have for the season down there in Wellington, Adrian, altogether?
I would say it's a bit in flux. I think it's always changing, but I'm planning to have probably about 6 horses that can jump FEI, 5 or 6. And then I have a young horse and a horse who will jump some national classes. So, it's always sort of in motion, but most likely about 5 FEI horses, 5 or 6.
Well, you're going to be busy.
Yes, very.
So how many more shows then for you? Do you have any other shows before the Christmas break and then starting up with the circuit in the new year?
No, I'm not showing at all for the rest of the year. I have a young horse that's been on a bit of a break because of his age, so I may jump him in some training classes, but we have a very busy winter. McLean really doesn't like to take any time off during the winter. He said, we can take week 11 off. I said, super. So I'll be doing the first 10 weeks in a row of Florida down here. So I think given our schedule, there's no reason for my horses to jump anymore.
Right. Well, hopefully you can unwind a little bit too yourself, can you? Go downhill to the holidays.
Yes, I was on the phone with a friend of mine yesterday, and he was joking with me. I thought you said you were on vacation. And I'm like, yeah, we're still vacation is riding fewer horses every day.
Well, obviously having fun and hitting form. So congratulations again on those successes. 3 in a row. That's fantastic. Enjoy the rest of the year off, and good luck at the circuit next year, Adrian. I appreciate you taking time to come on the program.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Happy holidays from Wisp Sports.
And if you listen to this on your favourite podcast app, you'll find the show notes accompanying this episode, as always, on the website at wispsports.com. Just drop down the Listen tab to The Horse Show. And there you'll find lots more podcasts on The Horse Show, as well as many other shows here. We have 46 shows from around the world of women's sports, telling stories from both on the field, from the athletes themselves, and off the field, to the issues affecting all women in sport. There's plenty to choose from there. We are the world's largest podcast network for women's sports, so there's something for everyone. And if you would like to join in the conversation at any time, you can do so on our social media channels or by dropping us a line to info@wispsports.com. Tell us what you think about the shows, and if there's something that you think we should be covering, we'd love to hear from you. And coming up on the final episode of The Horse Show of 2019, I'll be chatting with the Chronicle of the Horse senior reporter, Molly Baule. We're going to take a look back at the highlights of the show season for 2019. Do join us then right here on the Horse Show podcast here at Wisp Sports. Until then, thank you for listening and helping us turn up the volume on women's sports.